The story begins with the woman wearing the crown, not the crown itself. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hope Grows Here. I am your host, Isabella DeFiore, Miss Statesville's teen, and the CEO and founder of Bella's Backpacks. And I'm joined here with Amber Potts.
Hi.
She is my Miss Statesville, which is really exciting. Actually, we were just talking about this before we started the podcast. We are starting our preparation for Miss North Carolina. We already have started. And we are leaving in 3 days.
3 days, yes.
3 days!
Yes,
So, super
3
excited
days.
about that.
We leave on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, and we're going to put in some last-minute practice just before we leave so we feel extra confident about our work.
Yes, and extra, in our outfits and everything to walk on stage. And so we feel fully prepared going to Miss North Carolina in 3 days.
Yay! I'm super excited for that. But Amber, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your journey with the Miss America opportunity and what that means for you. So first off, we're going to start with your community service initiative.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, what inspired you to create it? It's called The Power of Skilled Hands.
So the Power of Skilled Hands all started, honestly, when I graduated from cosmetology school. I knew that there was, a draft where a lot of people were not wanting to go to trade schools. And there's like 52% of the population regrets, going and getting a 4-year degree. So I really wanted to highlight, I went to I went to a trade school and how I have made a sustainable career with it. And so really just highlighting that and letting, children be knowledgeable about, that there's not just one option in going to a 4-year, one option to go to school. And so you have, your 4-year university or you have a trade school. And so letting them ultimately make, the choice of what they want to do for their future. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how has your community service initiative shaped who you are as a leader?
It's really just shown that you ultimately, I knew probably when I was 7 that I love to do hair and makeup. I would literally watch YouTube videos all the time. Mm-hmm. I would, watch popular YouTubers about how to do makeup. And so I would sit there and do that. So I knew I was really wanting to go do hair and wanting to, do makeup and stuff. So I feel like, that just influenced me to want to, talk to other people about it, but also just being, a greater leader by showing people that you can do whatever you put your mind to. Mm-hmm. Once you follow your heart, no one can stop you. Yeah. So just really influencing people that no matter what other people tell you or what the world, tells you not what to do, don't let no define your future. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Last question on CSIs.
Yeah.
Why is this cause personally meaningful to you?
So, like I said, that I went to a trade school, and so with me actually going to trade school, I was, able to go to a 4-year university and graduate debt-free, mm-hmm. which is a huge accomplishment because that is one thing that I set for myself when I said I was going to get a bachelor's degree. That was my first, I'm doing this, but I'm doing this coming out with no debt.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge burden, not only on yourself, but on your parents. And so I wanted to not get, anybody else involved because that's my dream. And so I wanted to make sure that I fully, went into it. And so I just wanted to really highlight that. And so that's, why it's so meaningful to me is because I wanted to, tell everybody else my story and be able to tell them that, whatever that you do and you want to do and you want to go to a trade school, go and do it. Who is going to tell you no? No one's going to tell you no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only person that can tell you no is yourself.
Is yourself, exactly. And, why let yourself really, define your own future?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome that you were able to graduate debt-free.
I know. That was that. Well, I applied for a lot of scholarships, too, that helped.
Oh, yeah,
But,
definitely.
Working full-time and going to school, that was a challenge. Mm-hmm. But it taught me a lot of, perseverance. It taught me a lot of, managing, I didn't have a traditional, going to college. I still lived at home. I worked full-time. I didn't get the traditional college experience, but I also wouldn't regret it because I'm that's just one way for you to, I always say pay for friends.
Yeah.
But, like, you can have friends anywhere. And so I had a lot of work friends that supported me. My bosses supported me. And so I was like, I'm doing this, but I'm graduating debt-free. So, yeah.
And I'm sure it taught you a lot of, like, good work ethic, too, and how to manage your time and everything like that with having to work full-time and be a full-time student.
Yeah, because, like, when I went to Mitchell here in Statesville, I literally would go to class in the morning at 8 o'clock, go to class for a few hours, literally go to work, and then sometimes even go back to school and then go back to work later and wouldn't get off till like 8 or 9. Still have to go home and study for my tests or exams the next day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it taught me a lot of time management
That
for
is
sure.
a lot.
Yes.
Have to do in the day. Yeah, I have a friend right now who does that same exact thing. He's a welder, so he does welding in the morning. He does his at-home job, or not at-home job, but like personal job, and then he goes back to school, then goes to the gym sometimes. And I'm just like, okay, props to y'all for being able to do that.
It's a lot, but it's worth it in the end because
I'm sure it is.
you get to achieve your goals. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So next is the journey and preparation aspect of being a part of the Miss America opportunity. What drew you to want to compete in the Miss America opportunity?
So it ultimately started, my mom actually, put us into pageants because me and my sister were so shy. We love to dance and we love to do community service. And so those were really, two things that highlight in the Miss America opportunity is, going out to your community, find something you're passionate about, you get scholarship money.
Yep.
And then really also, you get to be on stage, which everyone loves to be on stage. And everyone loves to dress up and wear pretty clothes. So that's just another, highlight of the Miss America opportunity. But really, honestly, the community service. I would go to, the rest home with my Nana back in the day. And she would take us literally once a week. We would always go, especially in the summer because we stayed with her. And so we would go around to, the residents there at the different rest homes and, make them cards, bring them some candy, just honestly sit there and play games with them sometimes. And so that just really ultimately started where I wanted to do something in my community and make a difference and really, start my legacy. Yeah. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what has your preparation process looked like so far?
It has been a lot, but it's been a good lot.
Yeah.
So I started with a new interview coach, which really has, helped me. Shout out Caroline Reed, former Miss Texas. She has been the ultimately lifesaver. She has taught me so much more about, not really about the process or how I should go into my interview, but more about myself and who I truly am and what I want my story and my legacy to go forth. And so that has really been the ultimately prep. And then honestly, starting dancing as a 27-year-old again and trying to make your body do things that I did when I was 18, that has been a challenge for sure. I used to dance, 16 hours a week. I mean, just like you do.
Yeah.
So that has been such a challenge, just to make my body do things that it hasn't done in a long time. I actually also had foot surgery a year ago.
Oh.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes, from dance. So I had bunion surgery. And so being able to, make my foot do stuff that, it's kind of restricted has been a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, dance has been my life since I was 6 or so. So that's been a huge prep to Miss North Carolina as well.
I'm sure it has. And
Yes.
I mean, you're doing it really well though, because I
you.
love your dance.
Oh, thank you. I know. I can't wait to show it on Wednesday.
Yes,
I'm so
super
excited.
Yeah, so our competition schedule is talent on Wednesday, then we have evening gown on Thursday, and then
No, fitness.
fitness was Friday, I'm pretty sure.
No, fitness is Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, okay, so
Okay.
Wednesday talent, Thursday evening gown,
gown.
and then Friday is on stage question and fitness, and then Saturday is finals.
Yes.
Oh, super
So
exciting.
exciting.
Okay, now, what advice would you give someone who's considering competing for the first time?
Honestly, go with your heart. If you want to compete and go and be on stage, do it for yourself. You can't do it for anybody else. I know back in the day when I was competing a teen, yes, I loved to compete and be on stage, but you're at an age where you're very unsure about yourself. And so I knew that I loved to do it, but I'm like, was my heart in it? And so it was at points and times, but I knew that I wanted to keep going because I wanted to be ultimately Miss Statesville one day and represent my hometown. So I would just tell someone, go for it. Don't let anyone tell you can't do anything, because once you put your mind and your heart into something, like, no one's going to stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how has it been representing your hometown so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's been like literally a highlight of my year. I competed for this title 4 times. So it took a lot of perseverance. I had to step away from it my 3rd time and take a couple years off, because I knew that when I was going to Miss North Carolina that I only wanted to represent my hometown. I wanted to be Miss Statesville. I wanted to, have that legacy that I started when I was a Carolina Princess, ultimately finish when I was Miss Statesville.
Yeah.
So it has been amazing. I feel like, I am very blessed that I have a job that allows me to run to an appearance, leave work for 30 minutes, and then go back. So, shout out Beth and Company for their amazing, schedule and letting me go in and out and being able to run to appearances. But I think that's probably the highlight of something, being hometown and getting to represent. I get to say yes to almost everything, and I don't ever say no. So that's a problem, but it's okay.
Yeah, I know that for me, I've gotten to know people in my community for the past 3 years being a title holder with the Miss America opportunity, but especially this year, since I am Miss Statesville's teen, doing a lot more in my hometown, so I've gotten to meet a lot more people who live here that I did not know before. Yeah,
or like see friends and family that, you might have not seen in a while, and you're like, oh, I know you're like grandma, or, everyone knows Barb.
Yeah,
so
everyone knows my grandma.
So, coming up to you and be like, oh, I've known you since you were a child, but you might not know them, but they've watched you grow up and turn into amazing young women. So
So I'm just like meeting a whole bunch of new people. I'm just like, hey guys, didn't know you were people, but now I know you are people.
Yeah, very true.
Which is really fun. So the Miss America opportunity has a mentorship program for little girls ages 5 to 12.
Yes.
And you were one of those little girls at one point. And so do you think being a Carolina Princess prepared you in any way for where you are today as a contestant?
Yeah, I think it started to plant that seed. We all want to, go to Miss North Carolina and be on the Miss North Carolina stage. And so you get that first hands-on when you were like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And so that was amazing. And I think that, being in there showed me how things go, makes it more like clarity now that, if you're a teen or a miss and you've gone through the Carolina Star program, that you get to see how things go. So then when you go as a teen, you're not wowed by anything. You're like, oh, I'm prepared for this. And so, and it started, you have great mentorships when you're a Carolina Star that really, again, plant those seeds and makes it, ultimately help you be who you are and be able to go out into the community and start early.
Yeah. I know that I was a Carolina Princess from the ages of 5 to 12 as well, and so I know the personal effects of how being a Carolina Star can shape who you are as a young adult or like a teen.
Yeah. Because isn't that when you started Bella's Backpacks?
When I started Bella's Backpacks whenever I was 12,
yeah,
and I had to give up being a Carolina Princess, I was just like, I want to keep doing things in my community and I want to keep helping, and this is something that I'm very passionate about, and I was like, you know what, might as well do it, start it. And then it just helped that I already knew that I was going to compete one day. I didn't know when, but I knew that I was going to. And so I think about a year and a half later, I competed for my first prelim, and I was like, whew, this is so exciting. Like, I already have my community service initiative. I have the prior knowledge of what it's like to be a contestant because my Miss Melody Hager and Mallory Uten, they both were Very
Great
good.
mentorships.
Great
Yes,
mentors.
yes.
And so that's why I'm glad that we get to do this now, too.
Yeah,
Be a
I
mentor
know.
for little Demi and Kepley.
Yes.
So next, we're going to talk about lessons learned.
Okay.
So looking back on your journey so far, what's the biggest lesson you have learned?
Ooh. I don't know. I've learned a lot of lessons. I feel like a biggest one is honestly perseverance. Like, I know my mom told me when I went to college, she's like, college is all about perseverance. They throw crazy things at you just to see if you can make it. And so I feel like that's what the Miss America organization does. They want to see how much you can do and how much you can make, amazing of yourself. And they push you to be a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I guess just perseverance, but also like getting to be, a better version of myself every day is two of the lessons that I've learned this year. Yeah. And, being in the Miss America opportunity. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I'd say pretty much the same thing too, because you definitely do have to be one of resilience whenever it comes to being a part of this organization.
You do.
Because it is so competitive, but it's also so rewarding.
It is.
Because of everything that you learn and all the women that you get to meet. Because I know that for me, especially last year after Miss North Carolina, it took a lot in me to be like, I'm going to do this again.
It does, yeah. And see, that's why I had to take a step back. I'm like 3 times, and I still have not become Miss Statesville. Like, okay, let me just take a step back, rest my mind and my body, and really just grow into who I am. And if it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. And
clearly it was meant to be.
It was meant to be this year. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm glad that it was meant to be with me as the team.
Yes.
Because we've known each other for ever.
Yeah, since you were, honestly, I would say before you were even born.
Yeah,
I was always friends with your sister, so I don't quite remember when your mom was pregnant with you, but I do know that me and your sister were closer, before you were even born. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So been lifelong friends.
Yes.
So how has this organization helped you grow personally?
Personally, it has really just highlight on the things that I love and want to do. I feel like I am a person that it's hard for me to say no. I usually always say yes to almost everything. If I can make it work, I'm going to make it work. Yeah. And so, but it's also taught me that you have to give yourself rest. To be the best version of yourself anywhere you go, you have to give yourself rest. And so I've had to learn, yes, I want to say yes, but sometimes I need rest and I need, to be at home and to be around my family to, I guess give myself more energy to go better the next day. So being able to, just put a better version of myself no matter if I'm tired or, exhausted or whatever it is of that day, but always, go forth. Yeah.
So. Yeah, because I know that for me as well, it's hard for me to say no too.
Oh, I know. It's so
because
hard.
it's just like I feel like in my mind, if I say no, I'm letting someone down because they're just like, well, you do all this stuff, so why can't you do this for me?
Yes.
Even though that's not how it is, but in my mind, sometimes
I feel
it
like
is.
Girls that do pageants, we're people pleasers. We are. We want to make everyone happy, and sometimes it's hard to make everybody happy.
It really is. And so sometimes you just have to do what's best for yourself and be like, I apologize, but no.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels really good to say no.
Yes.
Because you're just like, okay, I get to rest now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like suffering from being sick last week, and I didn't even know I was sick because I've literally like, just keep going. And my mom's like, Amber, you need to go to the doctor. I'm like, okay, I will. But yeah.
So, of course, every journey faces its roadblocks. When have you faced adversity? And if so, how did that look for you, and how did you take it, and what did it teach you? So,
I would say the third time that I competed for Miss Statesville, I was in college. It was my senior year. I had a lot going on, trying to finish up classes. I signed up to do another prelim, and it got rescheduled because of the snow. And so I was going through a lot of anxiety. I was really sick. I for like 6 months, I I would literally have everything. But it was because I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And going through college. And so I, got diagnosed with anxiety. And so that has been something that I've had to, been a really big roadblock, is being able to, know when my body needs to breathe and when I need to take a deep breath and, step away, give myself a moment, and then come back. And so that's when I took that 2-year, gap between coming back, because I really needed to reground myself and find exactly who I am. And so that's been a huge roadblock, is being able to want to do your best, but also dealing with, anxiety on the side that you have to get up and speak in front of 1,000 people sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I've had to learn, just take a deep breath, breathe, don't think about it, and just go. And so that has been my ultimately, if I think about it too much, then my anxiety starts rising. And so I have to just not think about it. And so before a competition, anytime I go somewhere that I'm really anxious about, I put on Young Sheldon. I don't know if you guys have watched Young Sheldon, but I have literally watched it probably 20 times from start to finish. And so that is my love language, is literally putting on something that clears my mind and makes me feel calm.
Yeah.
And so I told my mom before competition, and so I told her, I was like, you're not allowed to talk to me. I'm putting on Young Sheldon on my computer and I'm getting ready, and she's not allowed to talk to me, because that's ultimately where I'm going to be the calmest and where I know that it clears my mind and lets me not think about anything that I'm going to do before, and lets my anxiety kind of just rest.
Yeah, like your comfort show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it is so much. I watch it every night to go to sleep. It's so bad.
Yes, I would say my comfort show or shows is either Gilmore Girls or Stranger Things.
Oh yes.
They're two completely opposite.
I used to watch Gilmore Girls too every night to go to bed.
Yeah,
so.
but I love both of those shows so much. Me and my friend Anna, you know Anna.
Yes.
Me and her love Gilmore Girls. We're just
it's so good.
It's
so
good. So the Miss America opportunity is in alliance with the American Heart Association, because fitness is a really big and important part of being a title holder, knowing how to stay physically fit as well as mentally fit.
Yes.
And so what's one thing about the Miss America opportunity is that they love us girls to, keep up with our physical and mental health, especially through our alliance with the Miss America opportunity with the American Heart Association.
Yes.
So how do you stay physically fit, and how have you supported the American Heart Association through your health initiative?
Yeah, so I actually got awarded a membership for this year of being Miss Statesville, which really has been so beneficial. I got a membership to the Statesville Rec in Statesville, and so that has been where I go and work out. Yeah. I take classes there 2 days a week, and then the other days of the week I go into the gym and work out. And so I am a person that I've danced for 18 years. I don't like to work out. I did not. I like to dance. And so going and really going in there and, not being anxious, because being a woman in the gym is sometimes scary.
It is.
Especially if a lot of men are around you. And so I have known that I put my headphones in, I put music on that makes me want to dance. And so I just get in there. I love to work out there. It is very rewarding, and I'm just grateful that they gave me, a membership to go work out there. But another thing that I've really partnership with American Heart Association, I have launched Fitness Friday. And so every Friday since I launched it, I have showed me working out. And so I have also noticed that people in the community, when they see me work out at the Statesville Rec, they come up to me and is like, "Hi, Miss Statesville." I'm like, "Hi, how are you?"
Hi.
And I have no crowd and sash on, and they just know my face because they see my workout videos.
Yeah.
And so it has really helped Statesville Rec grow their classes. Every Thursday I take, it's a sculpting bodybuilding class, and it busts my butt. Every Thursday. It does not matter what we do. It could be the same thing, but Lord help, I know that I'm going to be sore leaving that class, and I know I'm going to be sore the next 2 days probably. But it's been amazing because it has helped build my muscle, get me back into shape, and it has really shown me that I actually enjoy working out now.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
yeah.
girl, because I be seeing your fitness
yes.
videos, and I'm like, go get it, girl.
Yes.
And I be seeing that muscle, too.
I know. It's growing. It's growing. Slowly but surely.
Slowly
It's
but
growing.
And so I have a health initiative of my own, not only going to the gym 4 times a week as well as dancing 16 hours a week, but I also am currently the top fundraiser in North Carolina for teens,
Yes.
which is really exciting. And so I will be getting a scholarship at Miss North Carolina.
Which is amazing because
Yes.
we love scholarship money.
Love our scholarship money.
Yes.
But my next step is to actually be the national fundraiser for the American Heart Association.
And we're going to get you there somewhere or another.
We're gonna get me there. So if you want to go onto my socials and donate to my spot fund to help me be the top fundraiser in the nation for North Carolina, put North Carolina on the map, that would be much appreciated. And then I'm actually going after this to talk to some businesses about donating to my spot fund as well to hopefully get up.
That's amazing. Yes.
Yeah, because the idea came to me whenever I saw some of the South Carolina girls. They got some businesses from their local area to donate to their spot fund as well. So like either that be churches, their charter schools, or like other local businesses such as
And it's a
chiropractic
great
offices.
tax write-off, guys.
It is a great tax write-off because the American Heart Association is a nonprofit.
Yes.
And so it benefits you as well as the American Heart Association, as well as me.
Yes.
So supports so many people. But yeah, so you should definitely go on to my Miss North Carolina. No.
Your spot fund?
My Miss Statesville's teen Instagram page.
Yes.
Hopefully it will be Miss North Carolina's teen. But for now it's Miss Statesville's teen. And so go on there and go onto my spot fund and donate if you can. And if you can't, share it, please.
Yes.
Because that would be every single bit counts.
Yes,
And
it
every
does.
single bit helps. So now let's get into Miss North Carolina week.
Yes. Oh,
We're leaving
3 days,
in
Isabella.
3 days.
3 days.
Super excited for it. And so, is there a specific part of the week that you are most excited about or looking forward to?
Ooh, I like really all phases of competition. I don't really think there's one that, is above another, but I am really excited about our Welcome to High Point event. And so I think I've only done like 3 autograph cards as Miss Statesville. And so I am so excited to get to do autograph cards at Stock and Grain in High Point, but also just getting to spend some time with my Carolina Star, spend some time with you and Kepley. And so getting to just, be there with my family and my community is just ultimately going to be the highlight of the week, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stock and Grain last year was really fun because there's so many good food places in there.
There is.
There's sushi, there's pizza, there's a bar and like grill, and like there's tons of different
There's
things.
a burger place.
Yeah, sweet shop. So
Yeah. I know. I got to actually go there when me and my fiance went, and we went to go see the monks when they came, and so they were in High Point, and so we went, and then we got to eat at Stock and Grain afterwards because it was at the
Yes.
ballpark and stuff. But that was amazing to see them. So and them come through. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're available on Monday from, 5 to 7?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, come to Stock and Grain in High Point and see us in person. If you want, you should. Anyway, but how are you managing your nerves going into this week, if you have any?
Yeah, so I already kind of said this a little bit. I'm going to watch Young Sheldon, and I'm going to breathe and make sure that I ultimately have fun with the experience. Like, yes, it would be amazing to come out being Miss North Carolina. Everybody wants that. But ultimately not forgetting who I am in the whole process and not letting anything, define what's going to stop me. And so probably just breathing, doing exactly what I've rehearsed since October, and just ultimately being myself. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes, same goal. Same goal. Obviously, it's to be Miss North Carolina's teen because that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But if the same thing last year happens this year, then I'm just hoping that I walk away with the experience and the knowledge that I did my best.
But the ultimately goal, Isabella, you got to represent your hometown.
Yeah.
And that's something that you've wanted to do since you were little.
I have.
And so you've already achieved a goal. You've already achieved one of your amazing goals that you set for yourself. So just think about that going into Miss North Carolina. Everything else that you get from now, like till the end of the week, is just a cherry on top.
Yeah.
You've already succeeded in your own self, and you've already exceeded in your goal that you've already set. So everything else from here on out, the next 3 days, is just a cherry on top.
Yeah.
Just think of it that way.
That's a perfect way to think of it.
That's what I'm telling myself too. So like I, set this goal for a long time ago that I wanted to be Miss Statesville, and so I achieved that goal. So like, yes, that was a goal, and yes, it would be amazing to represent North Carolina and go to Miss America, but I got to do it while representing my hometown.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, that's an amazing mindset to have.
Yes.
Because it really is. I'm really glad that I get to represent my hometown.
Yeah, and you've already achieved your goal. So.
Yeah. So, I think you kind of already answered the next question, which is what key things are you hoping to take away from Miss North Carolina Week?
Well, I would say, making sure I have fun, I enjoy my time there. I don't let the competition really define who I am at all, because it's just a competition.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's amazing, but you need to know, like, you're there for a purpose, and you're there to share your story, and you're there to be the best version of yourself. And if you go forth, then, everything will go into place. It's God's will if it's, your time. And if it's not, then he has a bigger plan for you. And that's exactly how I went into competing for Miss Statesville is I went in a mindset, this is, almost one of my last, competitions. I'm getting ready to age out.
Yeah.
And so I told Mom, I got on the phone with her and I said, I competed at another pageant before. It was, Universe United Miss. It was a state pageant. I got first runner up. And so I was devastated. I was like, I was supposed to win. Like, that was supposed to be my time to represent a state title, a national title. I wanted to be that. And Mom said, it's okay. He said, God has something bigger for you. And I said, okay. And so I dwindled on it. And so I was like, maybe we do this one last time. And so Stephanie Gill, Ashton's mom, which was my miss when I was Miss Statesville's teen, she texted me, y'all, literally every day. Every single day. She texted me and she was like, you're going to compete for Miss Statesville, right? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I've already done it 3. I'm done. And she was like, okay, I'll text you tomorrow. She literally texted me every single day at the same time, hey, you're going to be a great Miss Statesville. You're competing, right? I would tell her no. So she got into my head, and I was like, you know what? I've set this goal for myself since I was the Carolina Star, Carolina Princess.
Yeah.
And I was like, why not? Who's going to tell me that I can't be Miss Statesville? Like, no one is going to tell me no. And so just like I do with the power of skilled hands, no one's going to define your future. And so no one was going to define my future and let me not achieve my goal. And so I called Mom and I was like, so I'm thinking. And she's like, oh no. Like, they all know when I'm thinking. And so I was like, all right, we're doing this. We're doing this one last time. She's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I was like, we're going to compete for Miss Statesville. And I said, if it is the time for me to be Miss Statesville, it's going to be God's will.
Yeah.
And so, and everybody knows when I came off stage after my onstage question, and I did not do good with my 30-second intro, which I'm so glad they took away. So, but I came off stage and I did good on my question, but I didn't do good on my 30 seconds. And so I came off, I texted Mom backstage. I said, well, we're done. We need to pack up our stuff now. We're not winning this. And so she told my stepdad, and she was like, don't record it. Amber's not winning. And so I already had in my mindset, but backstage, I felt in my heart that I was Miss Statesville. Mm-hmm. And so I knew in my heart and I was like, oh no, I messed up on that. Like, I'm not going to be Miss Statesville. Like, that's not going to happen. But I knew in my heart that I was Miss Statesville. And so when they literally called my name out, like, my heart came to like realization, and my mind came to like, oh my gosh, this actually happened. I actually won Miss Statesville. So yeah, so that has been, something that, has key things that has wrapped up into, what I hope for Miss North Carolina, that I just go in with a clear mind, and whatever happens, it's God's will, and whatever peace brings me, that's what I hope. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, let's wrap it up. Yes. This is my longest podcast I've ever recorded.
I know.
Actually.
I'm sorry. I'm a yapper. When I get talking, okay. I get talking.
It's okay, girl. Yap away. But if every young girl listening today could remember just one thing from our conversation, what would you want this message to be to them?
Ultimately, follow your heart. Like, I followed my heart, even after, perseverance and pushing through and not winning 3 times. But I knew that ultimately that I wanted to go out there and be myself. And so I didn't want anyone to define my future. And I also didn't want, 3 no's to define my future.
Yeah.
So make sure you don't let anyone, and don't let no define your future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. Yay. Well, that being said, just for any other title holders out there, as well as for you and for me,
yes.
remember that your greatest title is not what's put across your chest, whether that be Miss Statesville, Miss North Carolina's teen, Miss North Carolina, whatever that may be. Your greatest title is the legacy that you leave in the community through your kindness, through your service, and through how you treat others. And so that's the biggest thing that I hope everyone takes away from this, as well as anything else that they do in life. And I just want to encourage everyone to keep learning and keep growing, making a positive impact on your community, as well as the people around you, your family, as well as yourself, and ultimately keep hope in your heart. Yes. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you, Amber, for being on my podcast.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad you asked me to do this.
Me too. So fun. It was really fun. I will see you guys next time. Bye.